Hey guys, how you doing? I got home and I listened to the last video that I had, and the wind just like absolutely totaled that video. So I wanted to do a redo of that thought. I'm just in my apartment here with my little pug here guy. Hey, how buddy? How you doing? He's got some peanut butter, so he's just snooping away. He's such a little sweetheart. Um, yeah, the basic no, sorry, Justin Trudeau, like his big half measure that he released today, right? Oh, he's going to do a top up for workers, right? Essential workers, right? This diminishingly small list that keeps getting smaller and smaller as time goes on. Oh yeah, technicians. Those aren't essential jobs. In any case, this is Justin Trudeau to a T, right? We might as well start calling him halfway Trudeau, right? He's just a half measure kind of a guy. He wants to do something that completely has the optics that he cares, right? But then when it comes time to actually do something, he's not going to do it. Just like the election reform promise, right? Like, oh yeah, well sure, we'll look into it, and then nah, we're not going to do that. It's the same thing here with the CERB program. Oh hey, now would be a perfect time to pass a basic income and help everybody, but nah, we're not going to do that, right? These are temporary measures that we're putting in place to ensure that when the COVID-19 crisis ends, we can just sell you back to a billionaire class that's actively attempting to abandon you, right? We sell ourselves, for those of you just tuning in, we sell ourselves to a market that's dominated by billionaires in a process that's known as wage slavery. That's the situation that we're in. If you don't think that's the case, you're either delusional or benefiting from it. And you need to adjust your worldview to sort of facilitate reality. The basic income, and the big reason why I say that he's halfway is that we could pass a basic income like that. They passed the CERB program in less than a week, right? It took them no time whatsoever. We could pass the basic income in a week for sure. And it would resolve all of the issues that we're facing, right? All of the problems that we're dealing with right now because of the COVID-19 crisis, the unemployment, the difficulties basically securing the necessities for people who are being abandoned by the capitalist class, the fact that people are being forced back into work while a pandemic is going on, right? The idea that people who are working on the front lines, the actual essential workers who are like the grocery store clerks, for God's sakes, aren't getting adequately compensated. The fact that they're having to work long hours and full time and all of this and with no reprieve. And in the meantime, the rest of us would gladly assist and gladly help. Oh, but we can't because the CERB program that doesn't allow for that. Meanwhile, a universal basic income is sitting right there. And what's getting ridiculous about the basic income conversation from my perspective is that we know it's cheaper, right? It's cheaper to pass a basic income and enact a basic income and have a basic income in place than it is to deal with poverty the way we're dealing with now. The Parliamentary Budgetary Office has the basic income paid at $24 billion, okay? That's their cost. These are the people who are responsible for costing these programs. They costed at $24 billion. The CBC is reporting, hey, guess how much poverty costs Ontario, right? Guess how much shelters cost? Guess how much all of emergency services? Guess how much food banks cost? Guess how much policing costs? When you actually put that all together, it turns out that costs $33 billion. That's more than $24 billion. So it's cheaper. It's cheaper to have a basic income than it is to deal with poverty and not even deal with poverty, to maintain the system and keep people in poverty. I just say it over and over and over again. And so now we've got a person in power who pretends like they care, right? So that it'll keep gullible people who are just kind of biting along and being like, oh well, I guess they're better than the conservatives. The conservatives wouldn't even talk about a basic income, and so all they have to do is talk about it, right? That's where we're at. where all someone has to do to gain the support and become the leader of the nation is pretend like they care, right? They can enact this half measure that doesn't actually get the job done so that they can sell the society back to a capitalist class that will, without a doubt, abandon the populace the second it's profitable for them. And it's really clear. Like, people are fooling themselves if they think that Justin Trudeau works for the same people the Conservatives do. They're in the same class. They go to the same parties. They work for the same people. They care about the same thing, which is maintaining the power and privilege of a wealthy elite that doesn't know who you are and will never know and thinks you're a dingy poor. Get out of here. Meanwhile, the rest of us sell ourselves into a labor market that's completely dominated by billionaires, and they don't care, right? They'll cut the cord the second they can. It's astounding to me how people continuously keep going along with this facade, this charade, this fake edifice that, oh, well, the Conservatives and the Liberals, they've always been sort of back and forth. They're like in the States, how the Democrats and the Republicans are a singular party. The Conservatives and the Liberals are not different from one another. They work towards the same endeavors and for the same goals, right? The Liberals simply understand that if they drop a crumb in the mouth of a starving populace, that they'll get a touch more support. Meanwhile, if you look to the left, to the people who are actually promoting solutions, it seems as though they can't gain any support whatsoever, right? I have this joke that I like to tell people, right? So we all found out that Justin Trudeau did blackface in the last election, right? And we looked and we went, oh, that's racist. And so then we turned and we took a look at the Conservative Party and we all went, ooh, that's racist. And then we took a look to the left and we all went, what's with the turban? Like, the populace has gotten to the point where they're just gullible. We could have so much better than this. Society could be so much better. And what's shocking at the end of the day is that the policy that we're talking about, which is the basic income, is cheaper than what we're doing. So everyone could have a better quality of life. The anxiety of needing to pay your bills and having to subserviate yourself to a boss who does not give a shit about you, and having to daily grind at this stone while losing money and not being able to actually get ahead and getting wiped out by even the smallest little bump in the road, which 60% of us are facing. 60% of us are facing. And the consequence of it, the consequence of passing a basic income means that everyone's life gets better. The system improves dramatically. It saves us all money. Oh, but you know what it does mean? It does mean that capitalists will have to start treating us like humans. Dang, guess it's not going to happen, right? Guess it's not going to happen now. Because if capitalists have to start treating you like humans instead of just cattle, dang. Anyway, half measure Trudeau. If you ever see this, and one day I hope you do, your father was better than you by a large margin. He passed Medicare for all, health care for all, universal health care. He passed universal health care for his generation because he gave a shit about the people who are around him. You don't. The universal basic income is this generation's universal health care. Your father did it for us. You're not doing it for us. Your father was better than you. Live up, stand up, grow a spine. Bye.